Another Gotham Knights podcast episode. Are you fucking kidding me? What's up,
I don't, what,
everybody?
what can you do, man? There's a lot to talk about with this game. It's a very polarizing game. Very polarizing.
Oh man, we should have done this podcast back when Spider-Man was releasing on the PS4 because it'd
I
be more
know.
fun to talk about.
Was that the last good superhero game? Probably was, right?
Yeah, I want to say, yeah, probably. Nothing else has
Right?
came out since then.
Not including Miles Morales, because those are basically, same
Yeah,
universe, that kind of thing.
just one has snow and one doesn't.
Yeah. Should have been in
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
I don't think any other
Uh,
ones came out after that that would be classified as a good superhero game. I mean, the only other superhero game that came out was Guardians. I mean, it's not the same level as
oh, okay.
Spider-Man, I don't
No,
think,
no,
but Guardians is up there.
Guardians is fucking awesome. Yeah, that game rules. Welcome back, guys, to another Three Amigos podcast. We're talking about Gotham Knights. Anthony and Chris here. We just got some new Red Hood gameplay, and Anthony, what are your first impressions on the new gameplay we got?
I'm slowly leaning towards not buying this game and buying Saints Row,
Yeah, yeah. So
which
they
is
showed off Red Hood for about it was kind of short too. It was like 4 or 5 minutes, maybe less than that. And they showed off two different character builds. One of them was brawler, one of them was more like distance projectile type of build. And I'm gonna be completely honest, they both look kind of whack. Just think like Red Hood just I don't know, from the beginning I just kind of thought he seemed like the lamest one. The way they were building him, like the version of Red Hood that this game is giving us just seemed kind of garbage.
I'm gonna
And
give you
the
I'm
well,
gonna
it's
give
like
you a high school
they,
throwback.
the more they show, he just looks not fun. I
I'm gonna give you a little high school throwback, a high school joke throwback. It's gonna be like, hey guys, look at my gameplay, my new gameplay. It's like, shut up, Red, that was whack.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. So like in some of this gameplay, one of the weirdest things that we're not really clear on is that they showed two Red Hoods at the same time, and we were talking a little bit before this, but like we don't know if that means that you're going to be able to play as the same character as like your friends, or if they were doing that just to show the two different versions of Red Hood. Either way, it just looked bad. It just like kind of broke the immersion of a game designed, we thought, around having four different characters that all play differently. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. I don't know. This was the first time I saw gameplay that actively made me like less interested. Usually, like most of the stuff they've been showing, I've been like, all right, I want to see more. And this was like, I stop. I don't want to see any more of this. Like, I feel like they have already showed everything Red Hood does, and I don't want to play as his character, which, I guess you don't have to because there's like four characters to play as, but it's kind of a bummer because, you know, not to always compare this game to Arkham, but in that game, even though you barely played as Red Hood, he was kind of cool. Like those little combat levels they gave him.
Do you think they've been pushing more of Red Hood in this game than the other characters? I feel like I've seen more of him than the other characters.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because he's a tougher sell, like in terms of interesting gameplay. I don't because like I don't know. They're showing a lot of Red Hood. It's hard to imagine as another character that would have two different build styles because the other characters all seem sort of like more hand to hand. Um, at least like I can't really see anyone like doing a ranged version of Nightwing. Just seems kind of like not as fun.
Right, because he
Uh,
doesn't really throw batarangs or anything. He's more of a close combat type of thing.
yeah, and like Red Hood's gameplay, at least from this, if he's capable of like more stuff, they should have showed that because they didn't show any like real combos. It was like charging towards someone and then punching them once. or like shooting them with something and then charging them and punching them. I was like, is that his whole move pool? Like they showed a special move that looked kind of cool. They showed a couple takedowns that look all right, but like his actual combos are like non-existent. Um,
Even the guy in the video, he said, with his weapons being non-lethal, you can make a build where your weapons would be more destructive or cause more damage, but still being non-lethal. It's like, how much more damage can you cause with a gun that isn't lethal? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the next big thing is to put a bullet in the person's head. Like,
I
um,
mean, yeah, from the beginning, that always didn't that just sounded kind of dumb with like, oh, Red Hood's in the game, but he's like non-lethal. It's like that's not Red Hood.
so
It's like goes against his whole character.
I know they have like some versions of him where he does fight side by side with the Bat family and he does like the rubber bullets or whatever the thing.
Yeah.
But my concern, because didn't the DLC for Arkham Knight Red Hood, you do kill those people for the most part, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but my concern is if you take the other characters like Batgirl and it says your Batgirl could be either a hand-to-hand combat build or a gadget build where her best moves are gadgets. It's like, no, her best moves is both of them, like gadgets
Right.
and hand-to-hand using the tech. Or, with Robin could be like, I guess similar premise. Either he's good with the staff only or he's good with like rings. It's like, no, it's why do we have to pick and choose if that's what they're going for? Because what was the two builds here? Like one's just stronger with fighting and one's stronger with weapons. Is that what it was?
Yeah, one of them was Brawler, which was like more hand-to-hand stuff, and one of them was just more of a ranged build, which was just
That's just
different
stupid.
types of shooting, which yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I'm looking at this too from like the standpoint of playing with your friends, and like I don't know, unless you're like unless someone's got a friend that's like a diehard Red Hood fan, which I'm sure there's people out there who saw this gameplay and are like super hyped up. But
That's
to
probably my brother.
me, yeah, like I don't know, man. He looks like the last one getting picked based on all the gameplay they've showed so far. And like, yeah, I mean, they've showed way more Red Hood stuff than the other characters. But
Yeah.
the other characters are an easier sell because they're more dynamic. They're not as stagnant as like pressing R2 to shoot a bunch and like that being the whole depth to
You know
his
what's
combat.
crazy is like I've a lot of games that have four characters to choose from. They typically have four-player co-op. Um, And in those games, with the exception of like Ninja Turtles, because it's mostly like whatever you choose is going to be like most almost the same play style in Ninja Turtles. But
Yeah.
it would be like, oh, your class of person is brawler, so you can do like Nightwing would be a brawler in my opinion because he does more of the hand-to-hand stuff. Red Hood would be the range character, so you can shoot from a distance and maybe snipe enemies out.
Mm,
And like Batgirl could be the all around, well-rounded character who isn't overpowered in all the stats, but she has a balance of the stats. And then like Robin would probably get some other like maybe the better techie person. And then four-player co-op, cool. They each have a role to play. Or if you play solo, you have that role that your strength is in, but your weakness is another role that you don't have at the moment. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah.
so that's kind of like, um, I guess I missed opportunity at the same time of like we could have four-player co-op, but we're not, and each person could have been better at one specific thing to give you a reason to choose another character other than how they traverse and preference. Like I'm still going to be sold on just playing as Batgirl for the most part because it'll be the most familiar, I believe, for Batman gameplay style,
Hmm.
and Batgirl's just awesome, and she's the only girl on the team, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a preference between Batgirl, Robin, and Nightwing. I just know I don't want to play as Red Hood. It's just
Yeah.
like, I mean, this could always change like when the game comes out and they mentioned a skill tree. So like, but again, it's just like you should be showing the cool stuff off. Like if they went through this gameplay and they were like, this is the coolest Red Hood gameplay we can show, to like. You're trying to hype up the characters. Like this just to me, it just didn't get me excited. I don't know. This was the first time I saw, and like just from the gameplay they showed of like driving around Gotham, I don't know about how that stuff's looking, man. It really did look like you just drive and then beat some people up and then get back on the bike and drive and beat some more people up and like acquire gear at the end of a fight. I'm just like, ah,
So that to me might be similar to Spider-Man's active crimes that you can, handle.
yeah.
But there's a big difference between that ugly motorcycle you're riding around a few blocks and swinging around and beating up bad guys and then swinging away. I miss Spider-Man. Man,
Yeah,
I'm just
that
gonna
game
say
was
that
awesome. I
I
can't
miss
wait
that
for the
game.
next one. Um,
Um, I gotta get
yeah,
a PS5, bro.
yeah, I thought of that too, and I was like, well, Spider-Man definitely had at least the first one, like a lot of those kinds of missions, but they did have a pretty good amount of different side like activities to do. And
Right.
I don't know. I mean, we're about 2 months away from this game coming out. And so they've got a lot of time to still show stuff, but they don't really have much time to like change anything. So, kind of what we see from here on out is what the game's going to be. And I guess we'll end it with, at least from my perspective, this was the first time that I got some serious Marvel Avengers vibes. And that game is terrible. You can like it, doesn't it, that's totally cool if you play that game and you enjoy it, but just from a design standpoint, it's just not well made. And this just looked kind of like the gameplay in the Marvel Avengers game, and that makes me a little bit nervous.
It's also funny for those who don't remember, when Spider-Man was added to Avengers and the swinging was so bad that
Oh,
they said Fortnite did better web swinging than Avengers. Fortnite.
yeah. It's crazy too, because like that motorcycle gameplay looked a lot better a couple years ago, at least to me, when they showed Batgirl on the bike and it was like a storm.
Yeah, it was like a
And
lightning storm or something.
yeah, like the bike gameplay they've showed in this game looks just kind of bad. I mean, it just doesn't look fun. Like
I'm
you have this whole idea, even like in Arkham Knight, where you like finally have the Batmobile to just drive around. Like it would, the concept should be cool of like you get a free motorcycle, you're riding around Gotham City, and it just doesn't look that interesting to do.
I'm getting
Like,
cyberpunk vibes
uh,
where like at the first things we saw was really cool and then the game comes out and it's like you know
yeah,
and like
yeah,
it's actually funny because I just saw a Saints Row video today from Game Ranks, and I was like listening to it as I was driving home, and I was just like, the stuff you're talking about seems more interesting than this Batman game. Granted, I'm not really a Saints Row fan at all. I
right.
don't think Saints Row games are as good as some people think they are, Jeffrey. And there's though, it's like it was originally the GTA clone, and just some of the stuff I heard about this game, the Saints Row game, is like, yeah, this one might be more interesting than the Batman one because doesn't Saints Row come out this month?
Yes.
Yeah, so when those reviews pop out, we'll see how it's doing, and maybe if it's doing good, maybe I'll pick it up for the channel, and if it's not, then I don't know, just don't pre-order the game because I've learned a lesson about pre-ordering games. Like the only time I'm gonna pre-order now if it's like God of War or Spider-Man,
Yeah, pretty
um,
much guaranteed banger. Just
yeah,
like it's gonna be awesome.
like that's the only time I'm
Uh,
gonna pre-order. Anything else? Oh, and Pokemon, like
right, yeah, yeah. Games that you
s-
they have a track record. Warner Bros. Montreal does not exactly have the best track record, which like is why they're trying to show this game a lot. But honestly, to me, this is the first big misstep. And I know people have been kind of hard on some of the other gameplay they've showed with like, Red Hood's moon boots and Nightwing's Fortnite flyer gliding around. Um, but to me, this was the first time that I actively am like, I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
I
I'm
will
holding
say
out hope.
this.
Like, I'm holding out hope if what they showed a lot today was like end game, like, really high level builds. I'm hoping the story is pretty lengthy, like maybe a good 25, 30 hours of like solid, well-written story. Because also some of the voice acting that I heard in these combat sequences with Jason Todd sounded awful. It just sounded really cheesy and like he's not Spider-Man. Like he's not a quippy, like I don't some of this I don't understand because like yeah, I guess that's also like the Avengers vibes of like, I don't know, man. I don't know if you should be trying to copy a certain style.
Right.
Oh yeah. Especially with Jason Todd. Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, quippy. I get it. Red Hood, like he's a pretty tortured character. I don't think he like some of the like one-liners he was throwing out in this gameplay. I was like, who is this character they're using? This
Right.
is kind of giving me some weird vibes right now.
Yeah. I just like I don't know, like this game, I was always like kind of cautious of it, and
Yeah.
then one thing I'm wondering is who else is going to be in the game? Because what if we have a situation where like we had that Mr. Freeze gameplay thing, and then
Yeah.
what if he doesn't make it in the game? It's like, oh yeah, we had to take it out because of whatever reason. Like, no, don't give me that crap. Or
Oh boy.
because
Yeah.
there's got to be a decent number of other bad guys. Look at and we keep comparing it to Spider-Man, but that's like the gold standard now, right?
Right.
Um, they had the Sinister Six. They had Shocker was part of it. Kingpin was there.
Yeah.
Um,
Tombstone. Fucking
Tombstone.
Tombstone. My God. What?
Black Cat made her way into it, and there was Easter eggs for Avengers, Iron Man, and Fantastic Four. And there's one thing that these Batman games do very well is the Easter eggs. There's depending on like which game, like Arkham City and Arkham Knight, had a
Yeah.
lot of hidden Easter eggs for a lot of different characters. So I do want to see something like that. But give us a decent number of villains. Of course, you have to expect the originals like Two Face, Penguin. I swear to God, Riddler better not be in it, but Riddler most likely will be in it. Um, trying to think of other maybe Killer Croc, Mr. Freeze, of course. I don't want to see the Mad Hatter again. It's kind of lame. Um, can't think of you know the pig guy from Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
That dude was scary as shit. So
That was a
like
good side mission.
if you can make him
That was
scary, like
yeah.
I'll take that
They could
because
do
that was
Hush.
fucking
They
creepy.
did Hush really dirty in Arkham Knight. They could bring back Hush, do
Oh
something
yeah, they
fun with
could do
him.
Hush, especially because
Um,
Batman is like missing, right? So
Yeah, I will say one more thing is like some of the enemies they showed, I'm already getting vibes of like a lot of enemy reskins of just like they had in the first 16-minute gameplay they showed, they had like the big brute bad guy with a shield. And then
yeah,
in this gameplay they showed like the exact same enemy type with a giant shield, like not even a different like shape for the shield, just like another giant rectangular shield. And I was like, enemy variety is kind of important in these like big beat 'em up combat type of games. And I'm not saying that like they have to be completely unique, but I mean at least give me like some slight differences in just like the weapons they have.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. Overall, it's just like I'm getting a little bit nervous. I'm getting some weird vibes. If this was Rocksteady, maybe I'd be a little more like lenient, but it's Warner Bros. Montreal, which has like one game under their belt from like 10 years ago. And I don't know. And this game's already been through so much. Like it was gonna be on PS4, PS5, all that, all the Xboxes, and then all of a sudden they were like, never mind, it's only on next gen. And it doesn't graphically look all that impressive. So we're thinking this got to be a performance reason why they put it on next gen only. And this is already a studio that had a lot of performance issues when they were making a PS3
I'm
game.
telling you,
So
Cyberpunk,
yeah,
Gotham
I don't
Punk. I don't
know.
know.
I think also
Uh,
like, why is this $70? Like you can't put that price tag on a game like this and then like it's gotta be a banger. It's gotta be a banger, or you have to be one of those greedy companies like 2K or Madden that just doesn't give a shit. And like we're gonna charge whatever we want. But like $70
Because at this
for
point,
like an unproven studio, and Maya unproven, they made one game.
yeah, at this point, you're better off having EA develop the damn game.
Oof. Oh, that hurts. That hurts to hear.
Like that's just
That
how
hurts
I
to
feel.
hear.
Um, I don't know. And then like if this is gonna be bad, just wait till we get that Suicide Squad game.
Dude, that game has gone radio silent.
Yeah.
I don't even I don't know. I don't think Rockstar even wants to make that game anymore. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys today. The Red Hood gameplay looks sort of concerning, but you know, if you saw it and you're excited for Red Hood and he's one of your favorite characters, then you should be pretty pumped because it looks like he's going to be getting a lot of love in this game. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're listening to the podcast or if you're watching it on YouTube, we appreciate you. We love you. We will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.